Hey there everybody, slowbroguy here, bringing you another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle against New World Rogue. It was a pretty fun battle. It was on Cerebi chat, and it was pretty interesting, so let's get it started, shall we? Okay, I start things off with Victini, and he starts things off with a very angry bird, which is Skarmory. Anyway, right off the bat, I use V-Create, and it nearly KOs it. That thing has to be fully invested in defense and HP to not get knocked down to sturdy. And then he goes for Stealth Rocks, the standard thing they do. Next up, I just go for a V-Create because, I figure he might as well just leave it in to die. I mean, anything else that comes in will probably take at least half, anyway. Even the things that resist it. But anyway, he goes into Wally, which is a Porygon 2. Then I switch out and I go out into Umongous, which is named Shrooms. And he hits it with a Thunder Wave, which is, it's kind of whatever. I mean, I would prefer it not to be paralyzed, but hey, whatever, stuff happens, He switches out right away and goes into Scizor. And I use Spore because he probably predicted that. Even though I don't know why he would go into Scizor. I mean, it hits a few of my Pokemon on my team for super effective damage, so, I don't know why. He should have just let Porygon 2 go to sleep. But anyway, he switches out right away and goes back into Porygon 2. Hits me with an Ice Beam, and then I just use Giga Drain. This is a fully specially defensive Umongous, so, it takes special hits like a champion. Anyway, he switches out because, it's pretty much, that's what I would have done too, but I also switch out and I go into Swampass, who is very, very unhappy because he has a very swampy ass. Anyway, he's still asleep, and then I use Stealth Rocks, because, Stealth Rocks, one of the best moves in the game, so might as well set him up. But I predicted him to switch right here to go into Salamence or something and just use Ice Beam. He wakes up turn 2 wake, I think, and Sword Stances. I predict Mence again or something of the sorts anyway, and just go Ice Beam again. And now he uses Sword Stance again. So now he's sitting at +4 attack. I just hit it with a Scold. I'm like, you know what? He's just sitting here setting up Sword Stances, so I might as well actually just go for my stab move, which is Scold. Was hoping for the burn on the first one. I didn't get it because, I don't really have the best of luck getting Scold burns. But anyway, he goes into Starmie, and then he uses Rapid Spin on my Stealth Rocks, and, the Rapid Spin really doesn't do much. And then I use Earthquake because, I actually thought he was just going to kill me off. And, I could have just went out into Umongous, but I figure I don't really need Swampert right now anyway, mostly. You'll see later anyway. But I go into Victini now and use U-Turn because this is a choice Scarfed one, so it should outspeed a non-Scarfed Starmie. But take that thing out with a U-Turn, because, U-Turn, it's a very scouty move. And then I go out into Uxie. Now he goes into Scribblenaught. Really like that name. I didn't see it coming. I like it a lot. But I switch out and I go into Umongous while he uses Substitute. Because I actually predicted him to go Spore because, most Smeargle carry that. But he uses Substitute, and then he starts setting up Shell Smashes. And at this point, I'm like, oh, crap. I totally did not see that coming. And then I use Clear Smog on it. But too bad it hits a Substitute, because otherwise it would take away all the stat boosts he got. And then he just uses Substitute again. Right now he's just fishing for a Paralyze, so then he can have a Substitute and then Baton passes pluses to something. He uses Substitute again, and unfortunately for me, I finally do get that Paralysis, which is highly unfortunate, but it's okay for the time being. and he baton passes out into Salamence, and then he has a white herb, so it takes away the defense and special defense drops. And then, surprisingly, I actually break its substitute with Clear Smog. I actually did not think it was going to. He hits me with a Flamethrower, which does a little bit over half, and then I take away all of his stat changes with Clear Smog, which is really good for me, because now he can't finish me off with Flamethrower, but I predict that Flamethrower anyway, and I switch into Heatran. And he has an air balloon because he likes to float in the air. But I get my Flash Fire boost, and then he switches out and he goes into Wally, predicting me to use Fire Blast or something. But I use Stealth Rocks because I accidentally brought the wrong Heatran with me. I actually meant to bring my my other one that has a balloon also, but it has 4 attacking moves instead of 3. And then I go into Amoonguss pretty much just as a death fodder, because I'm just like, I don't want to get Thunder Waved on my Heatran, so I'm going to switch out now. And he takes it out, which, that's okay. I mean, that's what I sent it in to do anyway, is just to faint and all that good stuff. And I go on to Uxie, and I use Light Screen. He hits me with a Thunder Wave, which is, like I said before, it's unfortunate. I would prefer not to be, just because he's, slow anyway. And then he switches out and he goes into Smeargle. He uses Shell Smash because, he can't substitute. And then, right off the bat, I'm just like, U-turn, it should kill it. It's like -1 defense. Yeah, 1 defense. So, it should definitely kill it. But, I U-turn and I go into Victini. Because, you turning into your choice Scarf Pokemon, it's usually the better call after you knock down one of your opponent's Pokemon. But he goes into Porygon 2, and I use U-turn again. Because my Victini wouldn't be able to KO it anyway, and I figure he's just going to Thunder Wave, and that would really hurt me in the end anyway. And, yeah, that's what he did, too. Now he just uses Recover because... yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, he doesn't really have anything that can hit me anyway. And then I just use Yawn. He uses Thunder Wave, probably predicting me to do something like Switch or something. And then I use Reflect. Right here, I really, really shouldn't have used Reflect. And I should have just went for U-turn straight off the bat. Mostly because of the off chance he does wake up early and Thunder Waves my Dragonite. That would just, royally suck. But anyway, I use Outrage because, Outrage, Choice Banded, them, hurt a lot. And my screen wears off, and thankfully he does get the second turn, third? That was third turn of sleep. I'm really thankful that he did actually have 3 turns of sleep. Because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to take it out and he would have just recover stalled me. But also it's really unfortunate because I got 3-turn Outrage, not a 2-turn Outrage. I would have preferred if I got a 2-turn Outrage there, because then I could have still had my Dragonite. But I switch out now because, Dragonite went down, and I go into Heatran. He finally pops my balloon with Dragon Claw, and I hit it with a Fire Blast, which nearly KOs it. So I'm assuming, since it's a mixed Mence, that he's probably running like a Naive Nature or something. But then he finishes off my Heatran with an Earthquake. Then he gets a Moxie boost, and he didn't have Intimidate, so of course he'd have Moxie, because it only gets Intimidate and Moxie. And I finally go into Victini and finish off his final Pokemon with a V-Create. Anyway, that was a really close game. It was really fun. And hope to battle you again sometime. And this is slowbroguy. And until next time, everybody, see you later for now, and have a great day.